Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So this morning we're reading from Acts 7.
Yes.
Yatagopayati vibhor.
Saragopayati Devo.
Yata samyachate puna.
Yatha Samyache Puna.
Yang yang sakti rapashritya.
Yam Shakti Vavashritya.
Purushakti parapaman.
Purushakti Parapuman.
Atmanam kridayan kridan.
Atmanam Hridayam Kriyam.
Karoti karoti cha.
Karoti Karoti Cha.
Yata gopayati vibhor.
Yatha Pur.
Yata samyachate puna.
Yatha Samyachate Puna.
Yang yang shakti apashritya.
Yam Shakti Vashritya.
Purushakti parapaman.
Purushakti Parapuman.
Atmanam hridayam kridan.
Atmanam Hridayam Kridan.
Karoti karoti cha.
Karoti Karoti Cha.
Yata gopayati vibhor.
Yatha Gopayati Vivu.
Yata samyachate puna.
Yatha Samyachate Puna.
Yang yang shakti apashritya.
Yam Shakti Vashritya.
Purushakti parapaman.
Purushakti Parapuman.
Atmanam hridayam kridan.
Atmanam Hridayam Kridan.
Karoti karoti cha.
Karoti Karoti Cha. Yatha Gopayati Vibhur. Gopayati Vibhur. Yatha Samyakshate Puna. Yatha Samyakshate Puna. Yam Shaktim Upashritya. Yam Shaktim Upashritya. Guru Shakti Parapuman. Guru Shakti Parapuman. Atmanam Hridayam Kridan. Atmanam Hridayam Kridan. Karoti Karoti Cha. Karoti Karoti Cha.
Yata
Has.
has. Gopayati
Gopayati
maintains.
maintains.
Vibhu
Vibhu
the great.
the great.
Yata
Yatha
has.
has.
Sangyachite
Samyachate
winds up.
winds up.
Puna
Puna
again.
again.
Yum yum
Yam
has.
has.
Shakti
Shakti
energies.
energies.
Sapashritya
Vashritya
by entwined.
by one.
Purushakti
Purushakti
the all-powerful.
the all powerful.
Para
Para
the supreme.
the supreme.
Puman
Puman
the personality of Godhead.
the personality of God.
Atmanam
Atmanam
plenary expansion.
in the expansion.
Kridaya
Vijaya
having engaged it. Krida as also
as also
personally being engaged.
personally engaged.
Karoti
Karoti
does them.
does
Vikaroti
the Karoti
and causes to be done.
to be done.
Cha
Cha
and translation. Kindly describe how the Supreme Lord, who is all-powerful, engages his different energies and different expansions in maintaining and again winding up the phenomenal world in the sporting spirit of a player. Purport. In the Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, The Supreme Lord is described as the chief eternal being amongst all other eternal individual beings. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. And the one Supreme Lord who maintains innumerable other individual living beings, Eko Bhavanam Yo Viridha Kama. So all living entities, both in the conditional state and the liberated state, are maintained by the Almighty Supreme Lord. Such maintenance is effected by the Lord through his different expansions of self and three principal energies, namely the internal, external, and marginal energies. Can you say that? So, namely the internal, external, and marginal energies. The living entities are his marginal energies, and some of them, in the confidence of the Lord, are entrusted with the Lord.
Hare Krishna Prabhus.
Hare Krishna.
The microphone should be shifted to near the top of your shirt, because right now it's muffled by your jacket. That little magnet, it needs to just to be adjusted.
The living entities are his marginal energies, and some of them, in the confidence of the Lord, are entrusted with the work of creation also, as are Brahma, Marichi, etc. And the acts of creation are inspired by the Lord unto them. The external energy, Maya, is also impregnated with the jivas or conditioned souls. The unconditioned marginal potency acts in the spiritual kingdom, and the Lord, by his different plenary expansions, maintains them in different transcendental relations displayed in the spiritual sky. So the one Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in many, Bahusham, and thus all diversities are in him, and he is in all diversities, although he is nevertheless different from all of them. This is the inconceivable mystic power of the Lord, that as such, everything is simultaneously one with and different from him by his inconceivable potencies. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Om Jnanatamarandasya Jnananjana Savakaya Chakshuralitam Jayan Tasmashri Mukram Kotavachalan Kanunam Yat Kripataraham Bande Shivinam Janadharam Vanchakapati Yasya Kripasindu Devacha Patitanam Pavneva Vaishnaveva Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitanyanam Eko Bhavanam Yoginayam. So this is Krishna. There's many living entities, but there's one who is maintaining all the others. Krishna is so kind that he's also maintained even the atheists. They cause such a disturbance, but he's maintaining everyone. The first word in this translation is kindly. So Krishna is very kind, and of course the devotees are very kind. This is the nature of Krishna, the nature of the devotees. There's that amazing pastime when Krishna was attempted to be killed by Putana. How was Putana? And she tried to kill him. Nobody knows. How old was Krishna?
Was Krishna in a month?
3 days. He was a baby. He was a baby.
It's fast.
And she was a witch. She had killed many kids. She was a bad lady. But she approached Krishna, very beautiful, and the residents of Vrindavan, they saw that she looked like a goddess. So she was so beautiful they just didn't question. They just let her go right in there and put Krishna on her lap and put her breast in his mouth, which was covered with poison. Yeah, Krishna is described for Krishna. He closed his eyes for a few reasons. One was that he didn't want to see such a horrible creature, and also he if she saw his eyes open, she might become frightened because he's the Lord. She might become a little discouraged about her business. He closed his eyes. What was anybody remember? I think it was about 4. Yeah.
Simply just to accept the breast milk, the baby.
I don't know if that's what it is.
That he had to kill a demon who is a woman.
Yeah, it's interesting that also the first demon that Ram killed was a woman. But women aren't supposed to be killed,
Yeah.
unless they're demons. They can be demonic. So Krishna, he just saw the good part. Bhavagrahi Janarda. He just saw the good in her, and she's come like a mother to give her breast milk. So he killed her, but she became a nurse in the spiritual world. But I always wonder about that because in the spiritual world there's no disease. Generally, nurses are there for people that are diseased. There's no doctors, right? There's no nurses. I guess there's nurses that just take care of. So,
Yeah, but Krishna is not a child.
yeah,
He's always youth, 16 years old.
yeah. Investigate. So this is the kindness of Krishna. Anyway, she went to the spiritual world, saw the good. But it's interesting that when she first saw Vamanadev in a previous life, she was the sister of Balaram. And when she saw Vamanadev, she just said, so beautiful. So beautiful. I'd love to be the mother of such a child. Just imagine how beautiful Vamanadev is. Little dwarf Brahma. But then, when Vamanadev took everything from Bali, her brother, she thought, I want to kill this guy. So she got both of her desires. She tried to feel Krishna. So this is the kindness of Krishna. And there's another excuse me, way of Krishna showing this kindness is that he came. Yada in order to give benediction to the devotees and to annihilate the demons. Whenever there's a predominant rise of religion and a decline in religious practice, at that time I descend myself. And to deliver the devotees and to annihilate the demons, as well as to re-establish religious principles, I descend. So he comes and he speaks the Bhagavad Gita. And I think it would be safe to say that millions of people have benefited so much from the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, just in our societies, it's a young society. So many militias have become devotees from reading the Bhagavad Gita. So this is some of the kindness of Krishna, that he comes and he gives us spiritual wisdom, knowledge, by which we can lose our interest in this material world. So this is more of the kindness of Krishna. Then of course, devotees are also very kind. Like my favorite devotee in the whole Bhagavatam is Narada Muni. Actually, he's in every canto. Very popular devotee. So he was in a forest one time, and he saw all these animals that were half killed, and he was thinking, who would do such a thing? Just half kill the animal. So finally, he found this hunter, Mrigari, and he went to him and he said, why are you half killing them? You're causing so much misery to them. Why don't you just kill them all the way so they don't have to suffer? He said, this is the way I was trained by my father. And Narada Muni said, but you're going to get some heavy karma for doing this. You're going to be also tortured by these animals in the way that you're torturing them now. And he said, well, I've never heard this before. I've never heard this before. Then what should I do? He said, well, you should break your bow. But this is how I do my livelihood. He said, don't worry. Krishna will take care of it. All of them. I think he said even all right somewhere. So he had such, Narada Muni's powerful personality, very pure. So he had faith, and he did it. And word got out that Mrigari, the hunter, had become a Vaishnava. And people started, this is a natural thing when someone's a saintly person, then people come and they give donations. So he had become a saint. And the people were so simple, even though he was such a rascal before. Well, he's changed. He's become a saint. So they would come and they would give him rice, and give him dal and fruits and vegetables, and he was astonished. Everything is being taken care of. So then Narada Muni, he decided to go see his disciple, but he was with another devotee, Parvata Muni. So when Mrigari saw Narada Muni, he was so anxious to see Narada Muni that he was running. But as he was running, he was jumping here and there. And when he got to Narada Muni, before he could take down the vase, Narada Muni asked him, when you were coming, you were jumping very oddly. What was that? What was that? He said, oh, there was ants. I didn't want to step on the ants. A devotee becomes so kind, doesn't want to disturb any living entity, except for bed bugs, who attacked. It's like a mosquito, that passed out of Prabhupada. Prabhupada was in his quarters, and there was because there's so many mosquitoes, they were under a net, him and Shrutakirti. There was a mosquito in the net. So Shrutakirti said, Prabhupada, should I kill it? He said, no, it's okay. But then it attacked. It landed on Prabhupada. He said, now you can kill it. It has attacked. So there's some. It's okay. And bed bugs, they just attack. So, but a devotee is very kind in general. We don't step on it. We don't step on it. This is the nature of a devotee. There's a statement that kindness is something that blind people can see and deaf people can hear. And there's an instance of this with one devotee who was distributing books in an airport in Los Angeles. And there was a blind person coming and had her stick. And the Charachandra asked this lady, do you like to read? Because you know, there's instruments by which you can read. These amazing instruments, you can actually read books. She said, oh yeah, I'd love to read. And he said, oh, that's nice. Because I have these books on yoga and meditation. He said, oh, that'd be wonderful. I'd love to read. So he said, yeah, we just asked for a donation. She said, sure, just put the books in my bag here, and in my purse here, there's you can take some money out, you know, whatever you think's appropriate. And so he got a donation from her, and she got the books. But she was blind, so she could. He's very kind, very nice devotee, Charitanda. Actually, he teaches yoga now, but he makes a lot of devotees teaching yoga. Prabhupada actually said a very good way to make devotees is through yoga. He's Charya Yogi. He's a very good teacher, and he makes a lot of devotees. So also in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the Bhagavad Gita should not be spoken to those who are envious of me, who are not austere, who are not devoted, and who are not engaged in devotional service. But we're going out and we're distributing Bhagavad Gitas. And none of the people we distribute Bhagavad Gitas do have any of these. You know, they're not devoted, not engaged in devotional service, they're not austere. So why? Why are we distributing them? That's in chapter 3, verse 29, in a purport. Prabhupada says that Krishna, he doesn't want us to approach people who are not devoted to him because they'll simply waste their time. Krishna doesn't want his devotees to waste time. So he says, don't approach these people. But then Prabhupada says in the purport, but the devotee knows the purpose of the Lord. Therefore, even at the risk of wasting time or even sometimes even being attacked, sometimes devotees will be attacked. I got knocked over one time, got punched one time. This is back in the early days. We weren't as popular as we now are now. Actually, people don't even know us that much now. But back then, we had there was devotees that were distributing books in very questionable ways, and therefore we weren't very popular. We were so unpopular because the ways to always distribute that the airline people and the airline and the airplane employees and the workers in the airport, they have these they're called clickers, and they just go like this, and they make so much noise. So they would come by and they would just click, and they were so loud no one could hear anything else. So they would come by with these clickers and just while we're talking to somebody, they were so loud that the person I'm speaking to couldn't hear it. Of course, in Miami, we didn't get it that bad because we were good. But in other places, Chicago was the worst. So yeah, they would just break up sales. They couldn't distribute books, and some other people they would get them, and all of a sudden, for literally for weeks they couldn't go out because the people would come by with these clickers, couldn't distribute. But then we cleaned up our act. Actually, I was distributing books one time in Los Angeles, and person I was showing one gentleman, businessman, a book. He said, "Are you Hare Krishna?" I said, "Yeah." "Oh, you've changed. You guys used to be bad people." I told them actually that by the arrangement of this, I'm the minister of distributions now for the world. So I travel around the world, and I told them that our golden rule now, most all the Hare Krishnas distributing books, is everybody walks away with a good impression. He said, "That's a good one. That's a good one. Now you guys would clean up good." So that's the golden rule. Did you know that's the golden rule? Everybody walks pretty good impression. So Prabhupada says the devotees know the purpose of the Lord. So even though people are not interested, we approach them. And many times, people that aren't interested, they get a book, become devotees. There's one instance where a devotee, he was trying to convince this lady to take a book. And she wasn't interested, but he just kept on trying, and different, sometimes he tried different ways to get someone. But he was just so determined to get her to take a book and give a donation. She gave a donation just to get rid of him. But then she called the BBT a few months later. She said, "I don't know who that man was that was pressuring me so much to get this book, but if I knew his name, I would thank him so much because I read that book, and now I'm so much inspired to serve Krishna." It's amazing. She became a devotee. Yes. So there's an example in our literature of a very kind, probably he may be known as the most kind, friendly king that ever walked the planet. His name was King Shivi. King Shivi. And he was famous not only on earth, but he was famous in the universe. So Lord Brahma, no, Lord Indra, he took the form of an eagle, and Agni took the form of a pigeon. And the eagle was chasing the pigeon to kill it, to eat it. So the pigeon took shelter of Maharaj Sibi, and the eagle came to get the pigeon. And Maharaj Sibi said to the eagle, "Can I get some meat, some other type of meat, so equal weight of the pigeon so you don't kill the pigeon?" He said, "No, I want this pigeon." Now back then they could talk. Even now there's parrots that talk. There's other birds also that talk, that. So this eagle said, "No, I want that pigeon." He said, "But if you can give the equal weight off your body of that pigeon, I'll accept it." So this king was so selfless. He started cutting off parts of his body and put it on the weight of the pigeon, and the equal weight. But the pigeon was getting bigger. So he had to cut more, and it was getting bigger. And more. Eventually, he just put his whole body on the weight. He was ready to give his life for the pigeon. Then Indra and Agni, they revealed their forms, that they were just testing him. And then of course, they had that mistake. His body went back to normal. So they just tested him just to see the selflessness, amazing selflessness, the kindness of a devotee. It's inconceivable. So also Prabhupada was known as being very kind. There's one instance when Prabhupada was in Los Angeles. This is when book distribution had just began, big book distribution back in '72. So there's one devotee, you might have heard of it, named Buddhimanta. Buddhimanta was probably the best book distributor. So Prabhupada was there in Los Angeles, and he was actually from the Bay Area. But he thought, let me do something special for Prabhupada. So he just went out all day long in the parking lots. And he distributed 100 big books. It hadn't been done before. So he went back to the temple and he went to where Prabhupada's room was, and he told the servant, I'd like to see Prabhupada. No, you can't see me. No, you don't understand. You don't know Prabhupada. So he just went by them. He just went by the servant. He knocked on the door. Yeah, it's Prabhupada. And he went in and, Prabhupada, by your mercy, I distributed 100 big books today. Prabhupada was like, never been heard before. So Prabhupada, he was looking around the room to give something to him to reciprocate. He didn't see anything. He took off his shirt, his curtain here, gave him his curtain. Took his shirt off his back. And he gave it to Buddhamanta. This is the kindness of Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was so happy with Buddhamanta. Very happy. In Los Angeles, the parking lots can get very hot, just like this. I just checked it out. This whole week, the weather there has been over 90, 95, 96. And that's hot. Yeah, and the boys are out in the parking lots too. Well, now school has started. But even the school is hot. Let's find a tree, sit under a tree. So the parking lots are very austere. There's another devotee in Germany. There was a devotee. This is during the marathon. It's wintertime. It's cold. Germany is cold. So he's trying to distribute books, and he's not getting any response. Nobody's taking books, and it's just very difficult. But there's a little lady sitting on the ground, leaning against the wall, and very poor and not clothed properly, very cold. But anyway, he just continued distributing. And then he looks at her again and says, oh, poor lady. So his van was nearby, and he had some dal and some rice. So he said, are you hungry? Would you like some hot soup? So when he heated it up, the dal and the rice, and he had some bread also. So he brought it to this lady. And she was so happy. She was so happy to have that. So then he went to distribute books again, and he was shocked. So many people were taking books. Krishna was pleased to see the kindness of the devotee. So he was amazed. Something to learn. Now here in this verse, it's also mentioned the mystic ability of Krishna. He's mystical. Therefore it's stated, Yatrurgo Yeshvara Krishna Jataparva Vinodi. Tatrashi Vijayo Juva. That wherever there's Krishna, the master of mystics, wherever there's Arjuna, the supreme archer, Tatrashi, there'll be opulence. Tatrashi Vijayo, there'll be victory. Tatrashi Vijayo Puja, there'll be extraordinary strength and morality. Interesting. Now here Krishna is getting ready to, do a huge war, kill each other, but morality, still moral. Say this is something that people have a very hard time understanding. That Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord, he's encouraging Arjuna to fight. Like the other day, a lady came, said she's very much into non-violence, ahimsa. I said, well, this teaches about, and actually in one of the texts, one of the qualities of ahimsa, non-violent. But I said the Bhagavad Gita is to convince a devotee of God to fight. But sometimes violence is necessary. I gave the example of Hitler, who, if he had been able to continue, he probably was just kept on going and taking over the world. We'd all be speaking German. But he was stopped. Violence. So sometimes violence is necessary. She disagreed. Someone should have spoke to him.
So yeah.
It was maybe someone could have talked him good sense into him. I don't think so. Actually, Prabhupada was also speaking to a yogi who was against violence, just totally against violence. And he was with one lady disciple. This person, this yogi, was with another lady disciple. So Prabhupada said to him, so if you're walking down the street and someone comes and attacks your lady disciple here, you wouldn't use violence to stop him? He said, no. And the lady disciple said, what? You wouldn't stop someone if they attacked me? So he lost that disciple. So it's just nonsense sentimentalism, you know? It's nonsense. So no, sometimes violence is necessary to bring non-violence. It's like Duryodhana, he was like the worst. He tried to kill the Pandavas, the most saintly people on the planet, practically. So Krishna said no. He wanted the best, the most moral person to be the king, which is used to. So yeah, sometimes it's necessary. Violence is necessary. So also in this verse, it's mentioned the mystic ability of Krishna. There was this pastime where Krishna, he young child, and you know back then they used to barter. They used to barter. So Krishna would see his parents bartering. So this lady came with fruit, and Krishna came in a little baby hand, and as he's running, the rice is running, and it's described in the Bhagavatam. He only had like 1 or 2 grains left in his hand, and he got there and he gave it to them. Please here, take. And she was so enamored by the beauty of Krishna. He said, that's okay. So he just gave him so many mangoes enough that he can carry. So then Krishna, thank you. And then she looked down and the basket was filled with jewels. But she was thinking, I'm not even attracted to these jewels anymore. I just want to see that beautiful face. You mentioned the garments to me. I just want to see that beautiful face of that beautiful boy. Wealth is that so important. So this is Krishna's mystic ability. The fruit turned into valuable jewels. Reciprocation. As they surrender to me, I reward them. But this is actually the real wealth, right? Is to have devotion. Therefore it's stated, getting this verse now. Prematana Vinayana Daridra Jiva, Dasapara Vitanam. If one does not have love for Krishna, one is considered to be a Daridra Jiva, a poor soul. Therefore, please, my dear Lord, please give me devotion for you. Oh no, engage me in your services, and all I want is loving service to you. This is the highest thing that one can achieve, is love for Krishna. This is the wealth. This is the wealth that we want. Money comes and goes. Therefore it's called chanchalam. Right? Coming and going. I was just listening to a lecture of Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that recently someone had stolen money from us, a good amount of money. And Prabhupada said, the money comes and the money goes. We can't be attached. And this is in the early days. It can't be attached. It'll come, it'll go. But the money is there, and we use it in the service of Krishna. Another amazing mystical pastime of Krishna was the Brahma Pramohana Lila. This is where Brahma, he wanted to test Krishna, so he stole all the cowherd boys and the calves. So he went with it. What happened was the cowherd boys, they were honoring Prasadam, and they noticed that the calves were all gone. So they had to go find them. But Krishna said, this is another kindness of Krishna. He said, no, don't bother. Continue eating. He said, I'll find them. Just don't bother. It's the kindness of Krishna. So then he went to find them, and they were also gone. He couldn't find the calves. So he went back, and the cowherd boys were all gone. And then Krishna, he knew, all right, Brahma's playing tricks. So he manifests all the cowherd boys, all the calves, perfect replicas of each boy. Because he knows, he's a super soul. He knows every characteristic of each boy, how each looked exactly. Because he knew if he goes home and they don't have the boys, it's really a problem. But when the boys went back to their parents, they were astonished because they were feeling the same way they feel around Krishna. And they all wanted to have Krishna as their children. So many things were done in this pastime. So then Brahma, just after a short time, because he knew he could be playing with fire here, so he went back, and all the boys were there. All the calves were there. So he went back, and the calves are still there, and the boys are still there. And then he went back, and all the boys, they turned into four-armed Vishnu. And they thought, oh my God, now I'm in trouble. And therefore there's the prayers of Lord Brahma. That's where you find that verse, Tattena Kampansi Samikshama. Whole chapter, prayers of Lord Brahma. So this is the mystic ability of Krishna. And one of my favorites is where Krishna, he was caught by one Mataji while he was stealing butter. She said, now I caught you red-handed. I'm gonna take you to your mother and you're gonna get chastised. He said, no, why don't you please? I promise you. I won't do it again. Please. No. I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you to your mother. You're gonna get chastised. So she's got his hand and she's dragging him to Mother Yasoda. She knocks on the door. Hey, Mother Yasoda, your boy, he's stealing butter again in my home. You have to come and chastise him. Mother Yasoda comes and opens the door. Says, what happened? Your boy here, he's stealing butter again. I caught him. Now you have to chastise him. So looks and says, Mother, you're working too hard. Take it easy. You're working too hard. You don't have my boy. That's your own boy. She said, where did Krishna go? Mataji, you're working too hard. Go, relax. Lay down on the couch. You're working too hard. I don't know what happened, Krishna. It's okay. Just go take rest. It's okay. And then she said, I'm sorry, Mother, so that what happened? Walking. She still got her boy then. And then Krishna turns back into Krishna. And he says to her, if you ever do that again, I'm going to turn into your husband. And she's like, ah! Krishna went over. Any question or comment? Yes.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Such a wonderful class of so many aspects and Sankirtan stories. Yeah, but it's really, I was appreciating how Krishna is maintaining us, Prabhupada is here in the conditioned and in the liberated states.
Yeah.
Krishna to maintain this. And like in our conditioned state, we can maintain it not only as like marginal potency in our existence, but also like the material energy of our body is maintaining that. It's all the necessity of food, water, sunlight.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so much to be grateful for, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even not us not serving Krishna for so many lifetimes, he's still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, even like I mentioned, even the demons are being maintained. This is so kind. Like in Europe, it's like I think it's like 80% atheists. It's like a huge percentage atheists.
Yeah.
But everything's being taken care of. They don't see the sun as much as we do. They're getting all their necessities. So this is the kindness of Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the class. I have a question regarding King Shri. So we heard the past time how he was ready to give his own body for the sake of the pigeon. Many times we hear that pastime of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, where a man tries to save a person who is drowning, and he brings the coat rather than the person himself, and we understand it that saving the body versus saving the soul. So how is this pastime showing kindness of a person, because he's saving the body of the pigeon? So and this my question is in general for philanthropic activities. Prabhupada says philanthropic activities are saving the body, so they are not so consequential. Our activity should be about saving the soul. So how do we compare and contrast this kingship is pastime?
Well, he's a king. And the pigeon, as Prabhupada would say, is praja. Just like there's so many cows in this country, they're citizens. They're praja, and they should be protected. You know, the king, the president, they should protect them, not allow them to be killed. So he's a king. Now, and also the Prabhupada says that if the soul in that body is killed prematurely, then they have to go back in that body, continue their karma in that particular body. So a couple others. So yeah, a king is so responsible. It's amazing. There's so even when Indira Gandhi was prime minister, there was a period where there was a huge drought, and people were going and complaining to her that why is this happening? And Prabhupada was amazed that even now in Kali Yuga, people know that the president or the prime minister or the king, they're responsible. Even today, still, people feel that they're responsible. It's a big responsibility, you know, to be the president or to be the king or prime minister. They're supposed to take care of everyone, and animals also. So he had that responsibility to protect the pigeon. Pretty amazing, guys.
Isn't it stated that the king takes like 3/4 of the karma?
They said 6%. I think it's 6%.
6%. Yeah, I see.
Boy, I wouldn't like him. I wouldn't want to be in president's shoes, or prime minister's shoes. Geez, Kali Yuga. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Prasadam is ready.